Thank you.
Let me share my screen. Okay, so I have spoken about this before, but I came across a book during the course of the week, which I will talk about at the end, that reminded me about this. And what I was particularly reminded of is how we can be given good information, good tips, and if we don't actually do them and make them habitual, we forget about them. And I certainly have fallen short of practicing this particular little exercise that I've called Mastering Your Mindset. And I think to myself, if I did this presentation a year ago, and if I had done the work from that moment and started putting it into place, how different would things be for me? Probably quite substantially. And so I thought we'd go over this again, because as the festive season comes along, maybe we've got a little bit of time where we can just practice this so that we're up and ready and going from the beginning of the new year. So it's all about how you speak to yourself, the inner conversation. And if you learn how to ask yourself the right questions, you're more likely to get the answer that you require. And so let's take a look. Now, let me go here. So I press enter. Okay, so the way in which our brain works is that our brains are problem solvers. So if you ask yourself a question, you're asking your brain that question, and it will seek to find an answer to the question that you have asked. So if you ask certain questions, you are programming your brain, if you like, to look for certain kinds of answers, and you can couch those very same questions slightly differently and cause your brain to approach the problem in a slightly different way. That sounds like Greek, I'm sure, but let's take a look. The kind of question we ask ourselves, I'm willing to put money on it, is why can't I sponsor something? Somebody rather. Why can't I do X? Why can't I hit my target? Why can't I whatever? And so your brain will answer that question. It will tell you all sorts of reasons why you can't do that thing. It's answering the question, you've asked it, and it will find reasons why you are, in fact, a terrible sponsor and tell you them. And so what it does is to confirm the fact that you can't sponsor somebody. So how would we reframe that question in order to get more useful answers from our brain? We would say, how can I sponsor someone? And now your brain will come up with all sorts of creative ideas in response to that question, instead of negative thoughts that confirm your negative perception of yourself because of the way you couch the question. It's the same basic concern, but the information that your brain supplies you is different. Now, that is so subtle, actually, and apparently from people who do it, intensely profound, because suddenly your creativity is sparked and you come up with things you can do which turn things around. So here's another example. Why can't I get retail customers? A better one would say is, how can I get retail customers? For example. Why does it work like this? Because a why question focuses on the past with a negative, something's blocking. I'm trying to get rid of this thing. Yeah, it focuses on the past with negative emotions. It refers to past mistakes. It seeks for confirmation as to what has been happening in the past. And our brain is notorious for trying to keep us safe and comfortable and protect us from the pain of the past. Whereas a how question focuses on the possibilities for the future, releases our creativity, and it's like a brainstorming exercise. Can you imagine doing a brainstorming exercise in some sort of teamwork where you say, well, why are we so useless in this company? I mean, imagine the wonderful answers you would get. It's just mind-boggling. And yet we do it to ourselves all the time. So here are some other questions, and you'll be able to refer to this, is how can I attract more prospects into my business? How can I build my business while I'm commuting to work? How can I follow up with 5 prospects today? How can I build my business during my lunch hour? How can I be the best sponsor? How can I find a potential leader today? How can I be a better person? How can I reach more prospects since a lot of people are working from home right now? How can I increase my awareness of my business today? How can I motivate myself to follow up with 5 prospects today? How can I motivate my team to attend the next big event? How can I build belief in my business today? How can I focus more on giving back to the community? How can I focus on spending quality time with my family today? So, without a daily project, and Monica and I are your intrepid leaders, and so we are exhorting you to do this, aren't we, Monica? Name your biggest near-life problem that you want to solve and focus on it for a day, asking those sorts of how questions, and come up with possible solutions and action steps. Write them down. If necessary, revisit the question, take the proposed actions, and then reap the results. So you don't have to do a different project every day. Let's say you choose a project for the week or a project for the month, and you just work out what it is you need to do, what it is you can do and will do, and then do those actions and see what the results are. The only way in which we can make this work for us is to actually do it. And the most important thing is to catch ourselves asking the why questions and reframe them as how questions, because it is our habit to ask questions. Okay, so what I want to then do, I hope it's very simple. I hope it's useful. And it is my challenge to me, actually, because I have totally lost the plot there, and I am very good at the why questions at the moment. So I'm going to refocus on how questions. And then the book that I've been looking at, and there's a lot of verbiage there, but I think it's worth reading. And I have got a PDF, which I will post on the group. It's I don't remember the full title of the book, but the person who wrote it is a man who's been around for 25 or 30 years in the motivation sort of space. His name is Noah St. John, I think. And he uses a term called affirmations, F-O-R-M, not F-I-R-M. And he talks about how affirmations work for some people. There's no question about that. But for most people, they don't work because they suggest that you speak things that are not yet there. So you say, I'm a very successful business person, earning R1 million a year. Say, just whatever you choose, your affirmation. And then if you're anything like me, there's a loud voice behind that saying, yeah, who are you trying to kid? It doesn't sit well with me at all. to make these statements that I know to be untrue in the present. And so he talks about affirmations. And I can't really give you an example now of something he does, but it's very similar to what I've just been talking about. And it's couching the question or the statement differently. And it's really addressing the how rather than the it is or the why. And so I'm going to post that PDF, have a look at it, see where you can use the information. But these two things I've spoken about are so closely related that that I think we can play with both of them and change our mindset in the last month of 2023. And I mean, you hear these wonderful stories from people who've used those things. And there's one person who refers to the affirmation book, and he said he was a salesman and he was earning in the region of 12 to 1500, no, yeah, 1,200 to 1,500 US dollars a month as a salesperson. And he started using the affirmations, and the next year he was earning $120,000. It just made a huge, very quick difference to the way in which he did what he was doing anyway. You know, it wasn't a job change, it was nothing else. And he went from a fairly moldy salesperson to one of the top people in the team, just by using this technique to change the way he was engaging with his own mind. So, I mean, really imagine if that happened to each one of us, that by the end of 2024, we were at least directors and preferably sapphire directors. Yes.
I'm very sorry to interrupt you, but I mean, this is such a good way to come to the end of our year as we reflect and think about where we are in terms of our own mindset and prepping ourselves for the future. And you just brought back to mind, I did a one-to-one with someone from my BNI group today, this week. And she's got a side hustle where she does public speaking. And as we met, she said, I walked here to the coffee shop, she said, and I was just doing affirmations the whole way, she said, because she had just sent a quote of 15,000 Rand to do a public speaking engagement. And I nearly fell off my chair. But what does it show you? That's how much she sees what she's offering as in that category. But she was going through incredible self-doubt at that moment for her courage, bravery, her whatever you want to call it. And I was made terribly aware of how much self-doubt she actually was carrying in herself. And I think for myself, I talk for me, that's also where I think, and I think probably most of us, if I can speak for all of us, but we need to be working on overcoming that we do have the value, something incredibly valuable to pass on to people, and to stop having doubt. But I think that summed it up for me exactly what you were saying. And thank you. What an incredible reminder and presentation for us.
Well, I hope it helps, and it's certainly, I'm going to be doing it. So
I just snipped those two of the pages on it, but obviously we can pick them up off the recording, and I will send them out as well on the group.
Which two? What are you talking about?
So in your PowerPoint, I took 2 pages off, and with the questions. So the one is
I see. Okay. Yes. Excellent.
Yeah. Okay.
I understand.
So, okay. I'm a visual person, I think. I need to see things in front of me to remind me a lot. So I will print them off and stick them up on my wall here. And I think that's for maybe some of us as well, that may be a way to remind ourselves. yeah, without burbling on. Any comments from anyone else? Thank you, Andre. Amazing. Meryl, Hermine, Bob, Rob.
Yes, I've got a comment to just say it helps a lot to write it down when you do these affirmations. And make a habit of writing early morning and write it down, even if you have to repeat it every morning for a week, but it makes a difference.
I'm sure that's true. That's excellent. An excellent
Thank you,
point,
Hermine.
Hermine.
Excellent. Thank you.
And
Anything to establish it? Yes, Andre?
that also, you know, you can think that you're going to do something. You can say, yes, every day I will think that thought. But it's very easy to think you've had the thought, or to think you'll have the thought later, and to actually just not do it. But if you commit, as Hermine has just suggested, to actually writing it down, then there's a concrete evidence that you've actually done the process. Not for anybody else, but for yourself. And as we all know, you know, they say that goals that aren't written down are very, very unlikely to be achieved, because there's something that happens in the process of concretizing something. So brilliant idea, Hermine. Thank you.
Thank you, Hermine.
Can I just
yes, Bob, carry on.
just make a comment to that? I think it is really important that you do write it down. I mean, it is, you know, one of the things we teach as well. But one of the other things that I found, just to reinforce a lot of that, is, you know, this power of journaling, that you actually do it, and you know, you actually journal on. I try and do it on a daily basis early in the morning with others, and it just, first of all, you know, you're actually reinforcing that, and you reflect on it, and it helps you stop and actually, you know, again, ask the questions. So, you know, just, it's something I think is a very powerful thing that I also, in my health coaching, I encourage people to do, because I think you know, it just keeps reminding, it stops them, that they rethink it. Because just like Andre is saying as well, you know, had she done this a long time ago, and just, she knows the stuff, but had she just sort of almost used something to remind herself and keep it fresh and going, it does make a very big difference, I think, at the end of the day.
Great. So there's nobody who, I mean, everything is reinforcing what has been said. There's no one gainsaying it. And so, yeah, you know, and how about getting yourself a little, well, what we'd call a journal, a book that actually, that you like, that you find attractive, something that is nice to pick up in the morning and to do this thing with. Make it a pleasurable experience. And you can even, you know, people like Hermine, who's an artist, can even do a little watercolor alongside it. Make it fun. Make it something that speaks to your soul. And then you can share it with us, Hermine, if it's really beautiful.
Will be.
It will be, yes. But yeah. Anyway, that's all I've got to say for today.
This has reminded me of this. I got
gratitude.
This thing a while ago, and I started doing it. And, you know, it's the consistency as well as the commitment. It's all those C's. So this is my gratitude jar. So I think that would, the beginning of the day for me would be the journal, and the end of the day would be to put something into the gratitude jar. Yeah,
they're
these
little
things
rituals, actually.
We know about them, and let's make them into habits. Yeah. Fantastic. I feel very inspired. Thank you, Andre. That and Bob, I mean, I hope, Rob, you got a good hint there for a nice Christmas present for me.
What, another nice job?
No,
a nice journal.
In one or something.
And
I have a confession to make about beautiful empty books, is that they're so beautiful that I don't like to scar them. I find it very difficult to actually write on the first page. I just savor this beautiful, pristine thing. But I'll get over it. Yeah,
You must
don't
get
get
over it,
something too
Andre. And
beautiful.
I think that there's also an artist in you. So between you and him, I'm sure you can be putting lots of lovely ideas down in through your illustrations as well.
But one can also put quotes that are meaningful to you for the day or whatever. You know, you can make it a meaningful resource for yourself.
Now, can I just show you something? What I
Yes.
do, I actually am a calligraphist, so I have started doing that as well. But you know, using it, but like this sort of thing where I've actually made the journal, and what I do is in each sort of you know, few pages, then what I've done is I've, you know, found a lot of these quotes. So you insert a page, for instance, with the quote on it.
Oh, look at that.
And the rest is, as I say, it's an open place where you can do your writing on. So, yeah. And I find, I mean, it was one of the things that somebody coached me through is this whole thing, even dealing with stress, and it was to find a nice journal. And because I enjoy the calligraphy and working with fountain pens and own a lot of nice pens, that's how I found a lot of pleasure in the morning actually doing it. So yeah, that's what
How brilliant.
yeah.
I want to show you something. I've just got to go and fetch it. Give me a moment.
Give us some more ideas, Bob.
Yeah, I think-
Bob, that's an opportunity. You could make those journals up and sell them.
Well, that's we've actually got there's somebody in our group that I came across. Oh, it's actually a friend I made in Jeffreys Bay, whose wife's also an artist, and she's making, for instance, she's making these journals for her sister where she's using all sorts of things. Her artwork, she's using pressed flowers. She's making an absolutely stunning book. You know, that's like going to the nth degree. But these, you know, as I say, what I'm looking at doing now as I, you know, start going into health coaching full time is that, you know, at the start of it, I will offer people these, and in fact, give to a lot of them as part of the introductory pack, because I think it's such a powerful thing and such an important thing. So, yeah, that's what I'm looking at doing.
Brilliant. Can I show you what I went to fetch?
Yeah.
I had a friend.
Andre,
She's
can
now
you just pull your curtain a little bit behind you? We can't see your face.
You don't need to see my face. My friend is now deceased, but Hermin would know her, Utah Falls. And Utah, for over a decade, had a practice which she did every day for every morning early, and that was to paint or make a mandala. And then she made these little books periodically of mandalas. And so take a look at that, for example. And so every day, these are just a selection that she put into her little book. Every day she would do a mandala. And they were a meditative process for her. I think she started at the time when her husband was sadly run over by a drunkard and killed. And so if you've got the will, the wish, to decorate it in any way, I mean, even if you like pressed flowers, for example, and you just stick a pressed flower there or cut out something.
That's what Bob spoke about, Andre. Somebody he knows is using flowers. Yes.
Oh, okay. So you know, make it a pleasurable activity for yourself, but in the process you're changing your mindset and you are changing the trajectory of your business. I feel inspired. What about you?
So many themes coming through here. It's just been a very powerful meeting.
Yeah,
Thank you for all the sharing. Wow.
And Bob, there's a whole new aspect to you which you have shared with us. That's fantastic. Really nice. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Andrea, so this recording will be shared just now. with the PowerPoint on it and all the ideas for the journaling for the journey. Doesn't that sound nice as well? Journaling
Yes.
for the journey.
Yes.
And I'm feeling inspired, very, very inspired actually right now. I started a few years ago, actually just buying coloring books and coloring in mandalas, and I've slipped recent times, but I'm going to get going on that again as well. Very soothing for my spirit. So we've got 2 minutes to go. And so the housekeeping is we are midway through month end. So Bob, well done. 2 new distributors this last month, and reached a very nice starting point with getting a bonus this month. So we give you a heads up. Well done. And so and with all this journaling, we keep on focusing on the business where we can, and start setting our goals for the new year at the same time. Within whatever limitations or let's use the word challenges that we've got something really great in our hands that we can help a lot of people with. And I think for me, that's where my focus is at the moment as well. It's not about me. Let's focus on who we can help. Month end, I can't think that far to the end of December.
No,
That'll come through in the
we're
next short
still-
while.
Yes. Next week we'll tell you.
We're still trying to get through November. As far as our company meetings are, end of year meetings are going on all around the country at the moment. There's one in Johannesburg this morning. Just for your information, there will be an afternoon tea here at our house next Saturday afternoon. Anybody's welcome to come if you like to get on a plane and toddle up to Joburg. I'm just going to put that together for the small group here. And apart from that, are there any more announcements? Well, at that point, then, thank you, everybody. Go out and have a great week. Enjoy the Christmas spirit. It does shift us all and takes our minds off other things. And let's enjoy it for what for the joy that it does give, and have a great week.
Thanks, Monica.
Thanks, Monica.
Go well. Thanks,
Andrea.
Bob.
Thanks, everyone.
very much.
Meryl,
And I'll
fabulous.
post that book for you.
Oh, yes, please do. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Super.
Okay.
Take care. Bye.
Have a good week.
Bye.
Cheers.